Hey everybody, it's Nick from Bruto Bello and Carolon Audio Blog. I'm starting to do something new on my blog now, and hopefully some of you will appreciate it. I've been a guitarist for many, many years, and I have neglected a lot of a lot of playing over the years, and I'm getting back into it. And so I just kind of wanted to share some of my guitar insight and things on my blog as well, and in some of these demo videos. This is going to be my first guitar demo video, and so I wanted to show something that I recently purchased in this last 6 months. This is a Loar LH-650. It's a really nice piece, and I'm going to play it a little bit, and then I'm going to talk about it just a little bit. So I'm just going to play it acoustically, which is what I typically use it for. When I'm practicing, I don't plug into an amp because this sucker's pretty loud. It's about as loud as a standard dreadnought acoustic. But here, let you hear some of the tone. So my first impression of this guitar when I got it, and again I've had it for over 6 months now, was that it was a very bright sounding guitar, and it's got a great looking flame maple on the back. So, solid carved maple back. It's a lot different than most of the archtop guitars that a lot of people think about. I personally, I'm into like the early guitars, early jazz guitarists. And I like that kind of big projecting sort of tone. So if you're looking for like a modern jazz guitar, this might be too bright for you. And I've just got regular round wounds on here. But even as such, if I was to throw some flat wounds, I don't think it's going to mellow it out that much. And part of the design of this guitar is everything's floating. You've got a floating pickup, so it doesn't touch the top. And of course, the pick guard itself is floating above it. So, it's aimed at getting the most bang for your acoustic buck. You're really getting a lot of volume out of this guitar. Excuse me. And it excels at a lot of cool stuff. I really like the single note sound that I can get out of it, although I wish that it was like a little bit stiffer sounding for my personal taste. And I've got another guitar I'll demo so you can hear the difference. But, it's got a lot of punch. I personally put these on there because I don't like the weird out of tune resonance that sometimes happens when you pluck a string and these vibrate. But some people like that. I don't. So I hope that gives you a quick demonstration of kind of the tones you can get out of this. Like I said, it's very bright. And it also works really well for other stuff. Because it's got a balanced, bright sound. It's not as bassy as a dreadnought, but it can work for acoustic stuff, and it can also just sound to me like an amp, like a louder or acoustic kind of electric guitar. It sounds like an electric guitar, but a little bit louder, which is nice because I don't have phosphor bronze strings on here. That's not super jangly, but... Cool. Well, I shopped for this guitar for quite a while before I ended up purchasing it, and I ended up getting this at Guitar Center online, and they had a really great deal on it. It was used, and there's a few small dents and dings, things like that, but some of the things, and what I'm hopefully going to do is get some better pictures of this. There's a few small things with the binding and just some of the appointments that are a little less than perfect. This guitar, if I had paid full pop for it, I'd feel like, oh, that's a little bit disappointing, those things, because I have seen a $500 or $600 Ibanez arch top that is just clean. Everything's great and perfect about that, and since there are those few things, it's a little disheartening. But again, it's kind of a handmade guitar, and it's not $5,000. It's going to be, you can probably find one of these if you're lucky for around $1,000, $1,200, and it sounds pretty darn good. So I'll show a couple pictures. I'll float those up as I'm speaking here, so that you can check that out and see if that's a deal breaker for you. And that may just be this one particular guitar. Again, they're each different. Just a great sounding guitar. I mean, it can be sweet. It's got good sustain for an arch top or a hollow body. Cool. Well, I hope that helps anybody who's interested in one of these guitars know a little bit more and have the experience from somebody who's had it for a while.